fly away 体中に広がるパノラマ
Growing up, there was nothing like racing home to toss your backpack in the corner and plop your ass in front of the TV so you could watch the epic DBZ saga unfold. Of course, afterward, you would try to beat the shit out of your friends and then Kamehameha them into tiny bits. Because one, kids of the 90s were tougher than you little whiny brats of today. And two, because there were no good DBZ video games at the time. The closest I could get was going down to the local Blockbuster. And kids of today, a Blockbuster was kinda like a red box. Except it was a building that you went inside, and there were people there that you would discuss games and movies with. Basically, it was like Netflix, but for those who enjoyed the interpersonal relationships that would naturally develop as you shared your love of gaming and cinema. I know! How fucking disgusting, right? You actually conversed with other humans that you didn't really know that well, but found a shared bond through the types of movies and games you would pick up weekly. Which brings me back to the main point. The only Dragon Ball game I found as a kid was Dragon Ball GT Super Bout, which I'd like to say sucked or was awesome, but the damn rental disc was so fucking scratched, I never got to know if it was good or shit. Quick, someone contact the angry video game nerd. If you are wondering what was with all that opening filler, then you're clearly not a Dragon Ball Z fan, which brings me to the most epic thing of all time that has made my inner child squee! And I may or may not have shattered a window while I leapt up shouting Kamehameha! While playing what could possibly be the best anime-based video game of all time, even surpassing Pokemon. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot covers the whole Z saga from the TV show. It does not include the storyline from the films, although that could be added at a later date, but do not quote me on that. The game does take liberties with the story, and bits have been left out. However, all the important story bits are mostly covered, so even non-DBZ fans will be able to follow and understand the story, which makes it the perfect entry point. And trust me, I know a thing or two about perfect entry points. While the Dragon Ball games of the past were, for the most part, standard fighting games, Kakarot is an action RPG with a fully explorable world that is segmented into several levels that you will be free to explore and travel to at your leisure, provided you're not taking part in one of the story's more linear sequences. While you will explore and be free to take part in side quests, there are certain points in the story where you will be faced with battle after battle, kinda like a fighting game. But this makes perfect sense due to the game's narrative, and it also gives the game a very unique feel that I have not found elsewhere. There are times when you will roam around the world, completing quest after quest, and fighting a ton of random enemies. When you encounter an enemy, the game switches from an exploration mode to a combat mode, and these transitions are seamless. Also, thankfully, the encounters are not random, and you can avoid some and fly into others, pulverizing them with one blow. Then there are the times when you could spend an hour fighting, then watching a cutscene, then fighting some more. And you know, that doesn't sound too awesome, but the game is fucking awesome! Personally, I enjoy fighting games, but Dragon Ball Z to me was always about more than the fights. It was about the world, the characters, and the story. Do not misunderstand me. The fights are a huge part of the show. But the reason we all love the fights, beyond the epic action, was the story they told during and in between those battles. For the first time, I feel truly immersed in that world and story. And not only that, but the fights are out-fucking-rageous! This game nails the look and feel of the show's combat, and you totally feel in control of these epic battles, and it looks insane and plays phenomenally with fantastic controls. Although, the layout will seem odd at first, but give it a chance, because once you get used to it, they become very intuitive. Kicking ass has never felt so satisfying. And while the game is pretty easy during the story, there are plenty of tougher optional battles to seek out. I understand the game being mildly easy might put off the fighting gamers, but to me, Dragon Ball Z fights were all about the spectacle, and that's why the fights can be easy. But it takes skill to make the fights look as dope as they do on the show, and once you practice, you'll be pulling off moves that are gonna make you stand up and jump, shouting, "No fucking way! Hell fucking yes! That was the fucking tits!" There's one word to describe this game, and one word alone, and that word is fun as fuck. This game never ceases to be fun, and a great deal of that is because you're gonna switch characters as you play through the game, and each character plays pretty differently from the other. While they share a similar foundation, their special movesets really set them apart, which keeps the game from ever becoming repetitive. If you rush through the game and take no time to level up your characters, gain new abilities, seek out side quests, or just explore the world and get lost in fuck, then it's still gonna take 40 hours minimum to beat. But if you take your time and really savor this delicious treat from the heavens, then it could take as much as 100 hours to get to the center of this delicious Tootsie Pop. Now, all I have left to say is, please make a Sailor Moon game like this. Come on! It's the age of female empowerment and we don't have a Sailor Moon movie or game? Ladies, get your shit together.